All right, so Christmas is right around the corner and you're looking for the perfect gift for that elk hunter, deer hunter, just general outdoorsman. Or what's probably more likely, honestly, is you're that person and you're just out looking for gift ideas to give your wife, girlfriend, mom, whatever. We're gonna go over some ideas that I thought up, and these are things that I use a ton and I think would make an awesome gift. Guys, if you end up getting value from this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel. So I'm gonna come out the gates with one that I would never think that I would be suggesting, but it's a pack raft. So this is my Alpacka pack raft, and it's the Caribou model. And it actually tidies up much smaller than this, okay, right here. Good for backpack hunters, elk hunters, whatever. I took this raft on a couple trips this last fall, and I was amazed how often I used it, and I was amazed at how much marginal value I got from it. It literally opened up big chunks of units that I was hunting that there's no other way we could have hunted if we didn't have these pack rafts. So they're pricey, guys. Like I said, this is the Alpacka Raft Company. This is the Caribou model. They've got several different models. For most backcountry elk hunters in particular, or backcountry spring bear hunters, I think this is the ideal model for one guy, right? The reality is, if you're doing backcountry trips that require pack rafts, really each hunter needs a raft. So in my mind, this is a great model. I did get the model that has the cargo fly, so you can put dry bags in it and store gear. I think that's a good add-on also. So guys, go check out their website, Alpacka Rafts, and subscribe to the channel, because in the next couple weeks, I'm gonna get a pack raft review out, and it's got a bunch of footage from the hunts that I use this pack raft on. All right, so the next one we're gonna talk about is ultralight dry bags. I just got a little puppy stuffed in this one just for demonstration purposes, but any outdoorsman can utilize a few more of these ultralight dry bags. I'll throw a couple links in the description of the video, but what you can do with these is, yes, they protect gear. You know, if you've got gear in your backpack that you don't want to get wet and it starts storming, it's nice to have it in a dry bag. If you've got a down jacket, it's essential that you have it in a dry bag. There's just tons of different uses a hunter or outdoorsman is gonna find for these dry bags. So they make a great gift. These small ones are best and ideal. The biggest use that you'll see people use these for is just general organization. If you pop open my backpack, you're gonna see different stuff stashed in these different bags. If you check out my elk hunting gear list video, you're gonna see that exact concept, just compartmentalized types of gear within ultra dry bag. Awesome gift for an outdoorsman, super handy to have. Never can have enough of them. All right, so the next thing we're gonna jump into is knife sharpening stuff. So in this case, I actually have two options. It's just gonna depend on the personality of the person that you're buying the gift for. If you've got someone who's just a tinkerer, like they're willing to spend the time, perfect the skill set, I suggest you get a WhetStone for them, right? And you don't have to get a crazy expensive one. They can buy that down the road. You really just want to get them like an introductory version of a WhetStone so they can learn the skill set and have fun with it. And the one thing about WhetStones, you can look at my sharpening videos and see, but WhetStones actually teach you the concept of sharpening a knife, right? You're gonna have to understand how a burr works, and you're gonna have to understand how the apex of the knife develops. And once you know how to do that on a WhetStone, it's much easier to sharpen a knife in any way, right? It doesn't matter if it's a field sharpener or some other type of sharpener. If you know the concepts, the deep concepts, and you're gonna learn those on a WhetStone, you're gonna be a much better sharpener. But you gotta have time and you gotta have that mentality, so it's not a gift for everybody. And what's amazing with WhetStones, if somebody wants to take the time to sharpen a knife to literally being hair splitting, they can do that on just an inexpensive WhetStone like this. So it makes a great gift for somebody that wants to tinker. Along this train of thought, for the same kind of tinker, an add-on gift is one of these strops. It's just leather on a piece of wood essentially, and you can get some compound that goes with it. And what that allows somebody to do is maybe they're into knife sharpening, but they only get their knives, you know, really sharp, but they're not like shaving with it. If you get them one of these strops and they learn how to use it, all of a sudden, all that effort's gonna result in a super kind of almost scary sharp knife. So that's a great gift for them. Now, if you don't have a tinkerer in mind that you're buying gifts for, sharpening is still a good idea, particularly for any hunter or fisherman that's always using knives and knows the value of really sharp knives. This works sharp right here, okay? This works sharp right here. This is my favorite model. You can actually dial in the angle of the bevel on the knife, And that's nice because that means you can sharpen, your field hunting knives, you can sharpen fillet knives, you can sharpen boning knives, and you can sharpen your kitchen knives. That's why I like this one, because you can adjust that. If you're sharpening your hunting knives on like your standard, just kitchen electric sharpener, you're actually probably damaging those knives, and you're changing the angle of the knife where it's a little too thin. Those knives lose their durability. So it's really nice to have one of these ones you can adjust. A fillet knife is gonna have a much thinner angle, whereas a hunting knife, where you want some durability out of it, it's gonna have a much more obtuse angle. So this allows you to do that. For somebody who just wants to get the job done, these electric work sharp sharpeners are awesome. All right, let's break this up with some stocking stuffers for the outdoorsman. One is shoe goo. This is a half-used bottle. It seems like I'm going through a half bottle of this on every trip in the outdoors, and it's awesome for sealing up like the rand on your boot, starts peeling off. You can put some of this on. Any other use where you need something to truly stick, shoe goo is awesome. You'll see it in a lot of my videos, and it's a great gift. Even if the person you're thinking about buying gifts already has some, buy them some more, because it's just a matter of time before they go through their bottles. This one will save your butt, or it'll save the outdoorsman you're buying a gift for's butt. And this is a Petzl e-Lite. I talk about this a ton in several videos, but I gotta mention it again because I've used it so many times, and I've used it in unexpected situations where this truly bailed myself out or a client I was guiding out. And what it is, it's just a little backup headlamp, okay? And the nice thing about it is it works really well because the face of it is protected when you store it, and it won't turn on because it's got this cover, and it's got just a really handy little band here that's going to go around your head, so that stays very minimal and tight. It's got one of these kind of, I don't know, it's got one of those flat round batteries that lasts a long time too. So if you're not using it a ton, you can just keep it in there. I keep it in my bino harness. Somebody can keep it in their pack as a backup, and it's always awesome to have a headlamp. If you get yourself in a situation in the dark where you need to see, these headlamps could literally save your life. I actually talk about this Petzl light a bunch in my video, 10 things I carried during a decade of mountain guiding. So if you want more details, check that video out. I'll stick a link up here. A lens pen, another great stocking stuffer. All of us outdoorsmen and hunters are carrying optics, and a lot of us were carrying optics that are really expensive. So it's nice to have a lens pen. It's got a nice little brush. It comes out, and you can knock off the bigger things, right? Hold your binoculars up, hold your spotting scope, knock off anything on the lens so you don't create scratches. And then once it's clean, you can use this side of the pen to do kind of your final work. But having a lens pen in your bino harness, in your pack, is an awesome thing to have. It's a great gift, and it's another one of those things that if the outdoorsman you're looking for gifts for already has one, it's not a bad deal to buy him another one, because there's always another spot to have one. Have one in your truck, have one in your pack, have one in your bino harness, so you've always got it readily available. So right there, the lens pen. Okay, the next one is this thing. I have found this very useful, okay? And it's nothing new, it's just a power pack, all right? But this particular power pack, I use it on, outdoor stuff where I'm in remote areas. I've got it charged up. I can charge it off a generator. It's just got a built-in plug here. But the nice thing about this particular one is it's got the cords built in, right? So I've got little mini USB cord. I've got the Apple cord there. I've got some other ones too built in here. I've got that new USB cord here. So any device, you can just pop on this and charge it. A matter of fact, even in non-remote settings, like I'm in a hotel room or something, I'll actually just use this instead of my cords. I'll plug it into the wall, and then I'll use these attached cords to plug my device in. I use this all the time, recommend it to everybody. It's really a great gift for anybody, all right? So if you are that outdoorsman who's actually watching this video so you have ideas to give other people for yourself, you might actually buy this for other people in your family. All right, so this next one is really just a hunting throwback, right? Sometimes for hunters and outdoorsmen, it's just nice to have something that has a little bit of history in it. It's just made well, and it just feels nice, right? And so this is a great little hunting knife, the Buck 110, okay, a little folder, right? It has a lot of utility. It's a great little hunting knife, but it's just a beautiful knife, part of kind of American history. And a great way to give it to somebody is to include a sheath. I actually like these cross draw sheaths. I've actually got a knife video in the queue here. It should be out in the next couple months. And I talk about why I like these cross draw sheaths so much. But the short of it is, it's nice because you can just have it across your body here and it tucks in nice. It's not in your way. So a little sheath to go with the Buck 110 would be an awesome gift. I think even if the hunter outdoorsman you're looking for is not crazy into knives, I think they're still gonna appreciate this just because it's a pretty little knife in a cool package. Okay, we're getting to the end here, but one super useful one that any outdoorsman is gonna love, and that's just a roll of paracord. Every guy or gal that's fishing or hunting is always looking for some sort of string, and the reality is, given the weight and strength trade-off, paracord, 550 cord is some of the best stuff. Don't go out and get 10 feet of it, just get them a roll like this. It's not cheap, but you might as well get them a bulk roll because they will go through it and they'll use it and they'll always know they have it. All right, so the last Christmas gift that I'm gonna go over, I cannot believe how many videos I see on Instagram, YouTube, all over the place of hunters cutting up and processing game with their hunting knife. So what I mean by that is, yeah, it's fine to quarter your animals in the field with a hunting knife, but once you get the animal home, you really need to have a butchering set of knives. It's so much easier and it's much more hygienic. Butchering knives are way easier to clean and they're shaped for what you're actually doing. So in terms of, stripping out a back strap off a hanging deer, taking off the muscle groups off a hind quarter, all of that, you really don't want to be doing that with a traditional hunting knife. You want to be using a boning knife or a fillet knife. So a really cool gift for an outdoorsman is a nice little cover like this, just a little knife roll for them. And then all you really need are these 4 items, right? You want to have a fillet knife, and not necessarily only if they're a fisherman. I use a fillet knife all the time for taking muscle groups off hindquarters and shoulders. It's very, very handy. Also, if I get the opportunity to take the back straps off of a game animal while it's hanging instead of in the field, I really prefer to have a fillet knife. You're gonna lose way less meat and you're gonna end up with a much better finished product. So I use a fillet knife all the time. Okay, a boning knife, great for boning out quarters. A lot of the uses I use it for overlap with a fillet knife, but it is handy. And what you'll find is there's not a lot of really good sets when it comes to these butchering knives. So I recommend you just put one together for whoever you're buying this gift for. Buy the cover and then buy these 3 knives that I'm going over here, and you're gonna end up with a much better value for your money rather than going out and buying a cheapo Charlie kit, okay? I'll put links to these knives in the description, but these are update knives, right? And they're used very commonly in the butchering world. So we got the fillet knife, we got the boning knife, and then we got basically what I use for cutting steaks or cutting roasts out around. So the first 2 knives I mentioned, the fillet knife and the boning knife, those are basically gonna be universal. Even if the person you're buying these gifts for doesn't do their own game processing, they're still gonna get a bunch of value with those knives, because if they've got to bone out quarters out of truck or bone out quarters before they travel home or before they get on an airplane flight. A matter of fact, I've got a video coming out in the next couple weeks on how I traveled with a whole oryx on an airplane, and I used these exact knives to break down that animal. Anyways, any outdoorsman is gonna find use for the boning knife and fillet knife, but if an outdoorsman wants to do their own processing, packing roasts and steaks into the freezer, that last step, you need to get them one of these bigger knives, right? A lot of people call this a breaking knife. You can cut roasts, you can cut steaks in one swipe, so you're not doing like sawing in and have rough steaks. You can just do nice swooping cuts. And then of course you need a good sharpening rod, right? Easy to find, and you always want to have it in your set so you stay ahead of sharpening those knives and don't let them get dull. Always keep on it and keep your knives sharp. All right, so that's the list. I think any of these items, even if that outdoorsman you're looking for is not specifically asking for them, I think what you're gonna find when you get them these is they use them way more than they thought they would. If you enjoyed this video and got some value out of it, please like it and subscribe to the channel. Thanks, guys.